Most people don't ruin their lives in one big moment. They don't wake up one day and suddenly lose everything. They lose it quietly. One small habit, one excuse repeated daily, one moment where they chose comfort over discipline. That's how it starts. You don't fail because you're weak. You fail because you keep telling yourself it's not a big deal. Skipping one workout, postponing one hard conversation, scrolling instead of building, sleeping on dreams instead of chasing them. Each time, nothing seems to break. Life looks normal. You still function. You still breathe. But something invisible begins to rot. Your standards drop. Your self-respect erodes. Your identity slowly changes. And the most dangerous part? Your brain adjusts. It normalizes mediocrity. It convinces you that potential is optional. It tells you tomorrow will fix what today destroyed. But tomorrow never comes prepared. It only inherits the damage from yesterday. People think destruction is loud. It's not. It's silent. It's polite. It whispers instead of screams. And one day you wake up older, heavier, distracted, unfulfilled, wondering how you got here. The truth is brutal. You were never attacked. You were never unlucky. You were comfortable. And comfort is the most patient enemy you'll ever face, because it doesn't kill you today. It waits until your future has nothing left to fight with. Right now, somewhere in your daily routine, there is one habit quietly shaping who you are becoming, not who you want to be, but who you're settling to be. And if you don't identify it, if you don't confront it, it will decide your future for you. In the next part, I'll show you how to recognize that habit before it finishes the job. That habit doesn't announce itself when it enters your life. It comes disguised as relief, as rest, as I deserve this, as just this once. And because nothing immediately collapses, you start believing it's harmless. Days pass, then weeks, and slowly your mind starts lowering the bar without asking your permission until effort feels optional and discipline feels extreme. What you don't realize is that every time you choose what's easy, you're not just skipping a task, you're training your brain to associate comfort with safety and growth with danger. Your nervous system learns that resistance means threat, and over time, even the smallest challenge begins to feel overwhelming. This is how people lose momentum without noticing it, not by stopping completely, but by reducing intensity, delaying discomfort, and negotiating with themselves until standards disappear. You stop demanding excellence, then you stop demanding consistency, and finally, you stop demanding anything at all. And here's the part most people never want to hear. Your brain doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about efficiency. It will always choose the familiar over the meaningful, the easy over the necessary, unless you force it otherwise. That's why willpower alone never saves anyone. Motivation fades, emotions fluctuate, but habits remain loyal to whatever you feed them. Every small action you repeat is a vote for the person you are becoming, not the person you imagine yourself to be one day, but the person you are actively constructing right now. When you avoid the hard thing today, you make it harder to face it tomorrow. When you delay discipline, you weaken your future self and strengthen the version of you that quits quietly. And the scariest truth is this: you don't feel the cost immediately. The bill comes later, when time is gone, when energy is lower, when regret is louder than ambition. That's when people say, "I don't know what happened," even though it happened slowly, daily, and predictably. Look at your routine honestly, not emotionally. Find the habit that gives you comfort but steals your edge. The habit that relaxes you now but taxes you later. The habit that feels small but repeats every single day. That is not a neutral behavior. That is a direction. And direction matters more than intensity. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And if your system is built on avoidance, distraction, and excuses, no amount of inspiration will save you. In the next part, I'll show you how to break that habit at the identity level, not with motivation, not with hype, but with a shift that makes discipline automatic and comfort uncomfortable. Breaking that habit doesn't start with forcing yourself to work harder, waking up earlier, or promising that this time will be different, because effort without identity always collapses under pressure. Real change begins the moment you stop asking, "What should I do today?" and start asking, "Who do I refuse to be anymore?" The strongest people don't rely on motivation because they understand something most never learn. Motivation negotiates, identity does not. When your self-image changes, behavior follows automatically. You don't argue with yourself about discipline when discipline becomes who you are. You don't search for willpower when standards are non-negotiable. This is where the shift happens. Instead of trying to remove the habit, you replace the identity that needs it. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start operating as someone who executes, someone who finishes, someone who does what must be done regardless of how it feels. The brain resists change, but it obeys consistency. And when you act in alignment with a new identity long enough, resistance fades. Discomfort stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like confirmation. Every hard action becomes proof. Every completed task becomes reinforcement. And slowly, without dramatic moments or emotional highs, you rebuild self-respect. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that shows up in posture, tone, and decisions. This is how you win without anyone noticing. No speeches, no announcements, just daily actions that stack until confidence becomes unshakable. The same way you destroyed momentum with small choices, you now rebuild it with deliberate ones, one hard decision at a time. Understand this clearly. Your future is not decided by what you know, what you want, or what you plan. It is decided by what you tolerate. The moment you stop tolerating distraction, excuses, and comfort that costs you your potential, your life begins to move in a different direction. And that brutal habit that once quietly ruined your future loses its power the moment you stop feeding it. Not someday, not when you feel ready, but now. Because the person you become is not built in moments of inspiration. They are built in moments of resistance. And if you're listening to this right now, this is one of those moments. Choose accordingly.